What's good, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Ballin' from the Sidelines. And this episode, we're gonna be giving our predictions for this game between the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills in the 2021 wild card round. And this matchup right here got the makings for a really good rivalry many years to come. I mean, of course, already the New England Patriots and the Buffalo Bills are divisional rivals, AFC East repping, but they've never had a playoff rivalry. In fact, to date, they've never played each other in the playoffs, so never been able to establish a big game rivalry like the Patriots have been able to with the Dolphins in the 1980s, between Marino's Dolphins versus those past teams that made the Super Bowl in '85. They faced each other twice with New England anchored by John Hanna on the offensive line. You had Steve Grogan and Tony Easton 1 year at quarterback. Raymond Claiborne at the corner. Mike Haynes at the corner. It was a good rivalry that was going down in the '80s between the Pats and the Dolphins, and then of course the Pats and the Jets bumped into each other twice in the 2000s. Once in 2006, one in 2010. The Pats won in '06. The Jets won in 2010. So this is a new chapter in what could be a really good beginning to an AFC East rivalry between the Pats and the Bills, something we haven't seen before. So again, once again, I'm Daniel Usmani with my boy.
Owen Kearney, what's up, guys?
Yeah, Abington repping, of course. So let's just get deep into it. Let's get to the point that let's get to the stuff we're trying to hit at. Who do you got winning this game, Kearney?
All right, so kickoff's what, 35, 40 minutes away. I honestly have the Bills winning this game, and it's not because I am trying to like hedge my bets towards the Pats or anything. I sincerely think that the Bills defense is elite. So they're ranked first in yards allowed. They've let up less than 3,000 yards this year, which is no one's even close to that, first of all.
Exactly, yeah.
They've only let up 12 touchdowns this 17-game season. The Patriots are second most in the league with touchdowns allowed with 21. So that's a 9 touchdown difference. It's literally like almost double what they already have let up in the first place. They have more interceptions than touchdowns. They've forced over 22 turnovers to their only letting up 12 touchdowns. Their turnover differential is insane. The Bills are legit. Like, their defense is legit. The only question mark I have with the Bills is it is going to be like 0 degrees. It might snow. Damian Harris in the run game for the Patriots is legit. It's elite. And if they can control the clock, then I'm scared for the Bills. But for the most part, I think the Bills defense is going to do a really good job at containing the Patriots offense. Mac Jones is really good. He's a rookie, but he's had a tough time taking the top off of defenses, whether it's, him, the play calling, or the wide receivers. It doesn't matter. He's ranked 27th in the league in air yards per attempt. Like, that's tough. Like, to win a playoff game on the road, you got to be able to stretch the field. Not necessarily like completing those passes or, getting those 50-yard gains or whatever. But it says you got to stretch those safeties back. You can't have Jordan Poyer playing, 7 yards off the ball. Like, you gotta get them on their back heels. You got to get them moving into cover 3, cover 4. You can't just have them cover 1, man upping on your mediocre receivers like the whole game. So I'm a little concerned for the Pats offense. I think the Bills defense is on fire. Patriots offense is kind of sizzled out recently. I don't know, man. Like, the spread's -4. I think the Pats cover the spread. I don't think the Bills win by a touchdown. I think it's a field goal game. I'm taking the Bills 27-24.
27. That's your prediction. Yeah. So you got Bills over the Pats 27-24.
Pats cover the spread. They cover the spread. Pats don't stink. They'll cover the spread. Yeah. But I think the Bills win the game. I think so.
I'm definitely liking the point differential in your prediction. I think it's gonna be super close. Both of these teams are evenly matched, super evenly matched to the point where it's really, it seems like it's a coin toss decision here. But I'm gonna go with the franchise with 6 Super Bowl Lombardi trophies in their headquarters. I'm going with the New England Patriots.
Brady's not there no more. The 6 Super Bowls don't mean anything.
Hey, but they got Belichick there, and that's all that matters for right now.
Okay,
Now,
okay,
let's
okay.
start off. Okay, how many times has Belichick been a one and done in the playoffs? Like, that's just not Belichick's style. If he's gonna get eliminated, it's gonna be he's gonna ball out beforehand and then get eliminated. So he's had three one and dones in his playoff career as a head coach, and that's
That's fair.
after
That's
that's
fair.
after 18 playoff appearances. So 3 out of 18 times he's got knocked out in a one and done. Doesn't happen a lot. It's just not really the Belichick way.
That's fair. That's fair.
Um, like I said before, these teams are extremely evenly matched. The only big personnel difference between these two squads is when it comes to the receiving corps. Obviously, the Bills have the clear advantage when it comes to the receiving corps.
They have
They're
the best
probably,
core in the
yeah,
NFL.
they have the best healthy receiving core in the NFL now that the Bucks are shaking up. It's the
Yeah.
Bills. I mean, they got Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, and that one-two punch in itself is just perfect. You got a great deep ball guy and Stephon Diggs. You got Emmanuel
Don't sleep
Sanders.
on their tight ends, man. Knox is a baller, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah. Oh,
don't,
for
don't.
sure.
Yeah.
Especially a big third down possession receiver too. He can move the chains.
He works in the
Um,
well.
that being said, the Bills got the receiving core advantage, but the Pats got the secondary advantage. Since Tre'Davious White went down mid-season, the cornerback position has been a weak point for the Bills. If you watch their games, they struggled against multiple number one receivers. It's part of the reason why I never really got on the way is because they haven't faced that many number one receivers week in, week out. It's been less than a handful. And on top of that, there are 10 other players on the field for the Bills that have just been dominating their matchups, taking care of business. Like those stats you brought up about the Bills, they're really number one in almost every in a lot of defensive categories, especially when you make your way into the advanced metrics. But who's number two knocking on the door at the Bills when it comes to all these
Had the Pats
metrics?
are right there and
The
everything.
New
The Pats.
England Patriots
I'm
with
just telling
Bill
you, bro. But like,
Belichick as their head coach.
yards let up per play. The Bills are the only team in the NFL that let up less than 5 yards per play. Like that's crazy. Like per like completion or like that's crazy. Like they literally only let up like 4 yards per completion. That's 4.9, I think. I think Pats are only like 5.8, but like it's crazy. Like the Bills defense is crazy.
Exactly. But when it comes to secondaries, I'm giving the edge to New England. They got Jackson and they got Devin McCourty, who's a magic eraser even at this late stage in his career. He's a longtime veteran. We had this conversation earlier. After Earl Thomas, Devin McCourty was the second best magic eraser safety at the free safety position in the NFL when it comes to
For
consistency and
sure.
longevity.
For
Um,
sure.
and I just really think Josh Allen is the perfect mold to the type of quarterbacks that Bill Belichick owns schematically when you give him a full week of preparation. What's the scouting profile on Josh Allen? He's a mobile quarterback, loves to extend the play, improv. They run a good amount of design, RPO options with him and zone reads as well. More so RPOs. But that's just really plays into what Belichick likes to defeat most. It just almost dropping into his lap when it comes to a matchup, when it comes to evaluating the matchup.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, the memo on Bill Belichick since day one in his time in New England is he is a mobile quarterback's kryptonite. No matter was like David Garrard in the playoffs, or
I mean, the Pats game plan is gonna be they're gonna run a lot of fire zone blitzes. They're gonna man up on the outside. They're gonna force Josh Allen to make plays. So I think the Pats. I'm not saying the Bills offense is gonna go off. I'm just so concerned about the Patriots offense. Like that's where I'm like, I don't know if they can put up more than like 21 points. Like it's gonna be tough for them in my opinion. Like ready, look at this. We don't have split screens, but right, 3,700 yards, 22 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Tell me which quarterback is Mac Jones?
I'm guessing Mac Jones is first one because he has less yards?
Mac Jones is the second one with 13 picks, and the first one is Big Ben, and we all say Big Ben stinks, and those numbers are identical. So why are we promoting Mac Jones as if he's like the next Tom Brady? I'm not saying he can't be. I'm just saying, like, right now he's a rookie. It's tough. We don't have the wide receiving core to take the top off the Bills defense. I personally I just don't see it. Like, he has identical numbers to Ben Roethlisberger, who we're all calling for.
I was about to say
We're
like
calling
those.
for him to retire.
Yeah,
But we're praising Mac Jones like he's gonna go in Buffalo and beat the Bills in 0-degree weather. Like, that's tough. That's a lot to ask for a rookie. I'm not saying he
nah.
can't do it. I think it's gonna be a close game. But like, dude, like, I don't know. Like,
Let me give you my other facets to my argument when it comes to offensively. Like you said, it's a cold game today.
oh,
0
Damian Harris on
degrees.
that
I
rock.
mean, New England, if you look at it, this is just besides the point. I'm getting off my main point right now. But if you look at, the Patriots' signature victories throughout their dynasty years, it was in cold games, no matter you're talking
Yeah.
about the first dynasty or the second dynasty. But what do you got to do when it's cold outside? You have to run the football. You have to be able to execute off your double tight end I formations or your jumbo formations.
Wide
And
receivers block well for the
yeah,
Nikhil
and
Harry.
Devin
Good block.
Singletary,
Yeah,
Devil Singletary has been terrible for the Bills this year. He
he's been tough.
regressed big time from last season. The guy's got well under 1,000 yards rushing. He just hasn't been good. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
you got the Patriots of Harris, who has had a great year, and that's another
Pro
advantage
Football
of the Pats.
Focus #1 running back this year. Pro Football Focus #1.
Yeah, he might not have like 1,600 yards or like some razzle dazzle season like Jonathan Taylor, but hey, when you put the ball in the hands when you need it from it, he has performed. He stepped up to the plate, and he's a great goal line running back as well too. He's been getting them TDs, and he's a factor even outside the backfield when it comes to pass catching to a degree. And what does Bill Belichick do best when he's not favored in a matchup? He attacks you by going by the unexpected reality. Bill Belichick is gonna do something that no team saw coming going into this game. None of the scouts, none of the analysts, no one like you and me thought would come through. And one thing that we did have a conversation about earlier is how the Pats haven't ran as many two tight end formations as they probably should have, given the fact that they have
Johnny Smith is underutilized. They have two elite tight.
Yeah, with Hunter Henry and Jonah Allen. And I wouldn't be surprised one bit. In fact, I'm predicting that they're gonna run more two tight end sets than they did during the regular season.
Predict it. Talk your shit. What they gonna do?
Exactly. And then they're gonna run the football, and then they're gonna run the football. And then what always happens in a close game where both teams run the football a lot, in cold games especially, there's always one big play action play where the defense bites hard because you've been pounding it down the throats the entire game. Even the passing plays you've done, they're more intermediate check down routes type stuff.
Critical second and seven type shit.
And then there's gonna be broken coverage, and expect Aguilar or one of them other boys to go deep, and that's gonna be a big either TD or it's gonna be a big gain to the point where it's gonna set them up for a shorter field for a touchdown. And
I'm not gonna lie, like you make a convincing argument, and I feel like I should jump on the Pats bandwagon. I'm gonna stick to my gut.
One other caveat too that I forgot to mention is the Bills have been vulnerable. The middle of their defense has been vulnerable at numerous times throughout the year. Brian Tannehill was really able to expose them in the middle of the field, really carve them up. I think he went 10 for 13 or something like that, and throws in the middle of the field. That's just tipping the scale into what the Patriots need to do even more, to a point where more capability to execute that game plan.
I'm just saying in general, if I'm the Bills defensive coordinator, right, and I'm scheming for the Patriots, right, I'm locking up on the outside. I'm bringing my safeties to the 7-yard line, and I'm stacking that box, and I'm telling Mac Jones to throw over the top. Like, I think Mac Jones can make those throws, but in 0-degree weather, 30% no. Like, I don't know, man. Like,
the Pats are able to
personally, like, I think the game comes down to, I think the game of football is so complicated, but it's so simple. this game is so close between the rosters and the schematics and everything. I think it's just going to come down to which quarterback is going to make a play in the fourth quarter. And I don't even think Josh Allen's that great. But I trust him more. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, actually, I'd say I'm taking Josh Allen over Dak Prescott, but that's the whole conversation the other day.
Yo, that's another video.
Definitely.
I don't know about that.
So, I'm not hating on Josh Allen at all. I'm actually a fan of his, but
fourth
it's
quarter
just the Belichick matchup.
I said it was going to be a field goal game, like fourth quarter tie game, 3rd and 5. I think Josh Allen's making that throw. I don't know if Mac's going to make it. Like, that's all.
I really like Mac Jones in close games. I mean, they were just a field goal away from upsetting Brady's Bucks. Same thing with the Cowboys game was a close game, and Mac Jones got poise. He might not 50 yards, but in crunch time, he makes those third down throws. He's a smart decision maker. I'm never in fear when you put the ball in Mac Jones' hands. I'm never in fear that he's gonna do it, like throw a pick, a costly pick.
Mac's way beyond his years when it comes to being a quarterback. I'm just skeptical of rookies in the playoffs. Like, that is nothing against Mac. Like, it's just like the facts of NFL history. Like, no rookie has won a Super Bowl. Like, it is so hard to go into a playoff game when teams have, a week, sometimes 2 weeks to prepare, and you have a quarterback. It's just tough, man. Like, it's just like,
Max playing beyond his years, though.
Bill and Mac. If anyone can do it, it's Bill and Mac. But like, I think the Bills are a bad matchup for them, man. They have the strength on the outside. They have a decent pass rush. They have very good safeties to man up on those tight ends. Like, Jordan Poyer's a fucking baller. I know that the Bills are the first defense in like 30 years to be the number 1 overall defense that have no Pro Bowlers. Jordan Poyer deserves our
it's
first
like a no-name defense 2.0. Like, the first no-name defense was the 70s Dolphins. Now we got the Bills.
So good team defense. They play such good team defense. Like, Poyer deserves second team All-Pro or something, and he didn't even get a Pro Bowl nod. But like,
debatable, yeah.
They play really good team defense. I'm just concerned about going into Buffalo. It's a good defense. Like, yeah, we ran all over him last time we played. Mac threw 3 balls. Is that really going to happen again? Like, I feel like they're just going to stack the box on us.
I think that's another point to the Patriots' favor. Like, another strength for theirs. They were able to beat them passing the ball 3 times. And
but then they got blown out 2 weeks ago. They got blown out 2 weeks ago, dude. Like,
the Pats. I mean, yeah.
I mean, they lost by two possessions. Yeah, I mean, they didn't get blown out, but there was no point in that game that we were leading. Like, we were playing from behind. Like,
you talking about the Dolphins game when they got blown out?
No, the Pats Bills game from week.
Oh yeah, well, they're actually, if you recall, if you try to so where I'm
drop that pick.
Yeah, you drop that pick. But if you try to really analyze that fourth quarter stretch, the Pats got themselves back into the game to Mac Jones' avail, like to Mac Jones's great play in the second half, turning it around, and they had the Bills backed up into their own red zone.
They had a chance. Like, I think the Patriots.
And the Patriots defensive back dropped the interception.
We're grasping at straws right now, man. This is an absolute toss up, like, in every definition of the word. Like, this is going to be a really good game, honestly. Yeah, but Mac was tough in that game, man. Like, he threw 2 picks. He didn't throw a single touchdown. Like, he only threw for 150 yards. Don't get me wrong. They were all in the second half. He had a great second half, comparably. But like, dude, you can't go. I'm gonna pull it up actually. Okay.
I mean, one thing I will say.
You can't go 14 of 32 for 145 yards, 2 interceptions, and expect to win a playoff game. Like, that's tough.
It depends. Actually, in this game, they're going to be both teams are going to run the football a lot. And put it this way, this is going to be a pretty victory for either team. It's going to be smash mouth, old school football.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a 24-21 game. I think it's a field goal difference. I just think that we're on the same page. You just think Mac Jones going to make the 35 throw. I think Josh Allen's going to make the 35 throw. We're pretty much on the same page. Like,
I just think another thing too is that, like I mentioned before, Singletary has not been a good running back. So when a game is supposed to be decided by the running game this much.
Is Moss healthy?
Huh?
Is Zach Moss healthy?
He might be. I think he is.
He's a good third down back. He's a good little scat back. I don't know. Like, Yeah, they don't have the run
I'm,
game.
I'm talking about like a bell cow. I'm talking about in between tackles, like first to
Yeah.
second down running back
I
that you
mean,
need to
Damian
rack up
Harris is
yards.
probably the second best running back in the NFL in between tackles, but besides Derrick Henry. Like, to be completely honest, like Patriots have a lot of advantages. Like the Pats are. I think this is gonna be a close game. I don't know. It's tough. I just don't
Yeah,
trust rookie quarterbacks. I don't trust rookie quarterbacks.
One thing about the New England Patriots this year is after Gilmore, they traded Gilmore away. Belichick transitioned to more of a zone passing scheme.
A
Zone
lot
passing
of fire
defensive.
blitzing from
Yup.
his own
And
corners. A lot of
and
yeah.
and what's Josh Allen's strength? The deep ball. Slinging it down deep, improvising, and pushing it downfield. Um, but one other thing as well too is that the best way to beat a zone defense is the underneath throws, catching the wrinkle and finding the underneath receiver that's open and
Daniel
racking up
Sanders,
yards that way.
man.
What the
Daniel
Patriots, what
Sanders
yeah,
yeah.
what the Patriots did against the Seahawks in the 2014 Super Bowl.
Yep.
And like I mentioned before, Emmanuel Sanders is probably the best slot receiver in the NFL, if not top three. He still can move the chains like as good as anybody else. So
if AB's not in the NFL, it's Emmanuel Sanders. But
yeah, and if Josh Allen can counteract that zone defense, that's one way to exploit it. But in the same token, Josh Allen's short throw accuracy, medium throw accuracy can be errant at times.
I mean, the thing about attacking the zone against the Patriots, which is like so essential, is they don't just run like a standard cover 3, a cover 4, cover 2. They run a fire zone, which is like so hard, and they backfill on it. So like they'll have Judon on the line of scrimmage, right? And Allen's like, oh, like 8's the mic or whatever Judon's number is, like think he's coming, right? And then he'll back up into a hook zone, and then they're bringing pressure from the other side, and everyone backfills. So the Patriots do a great job of disguising their zone.
They roll a lot of their coverages too.
Dude, they had 23 interceptions this year. That's like insane. It was most in the NFL by far. Actually, the Bills had 19. That was the second most. But like
what the Cowboys with
I think like
Diggs.
I think like Diggs had like all of them. Like they only had like 16 or something.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, he also got burnt on like a ton of coverages, but he's a big play. He's a turnover guy. He's not like a lockdown corner. He's not.
He gave up over 1,000 yards. Yeah.
JC Jackson. I'm not gonna throw the word lockdown around, but like JC Jackson, like
yeah, exactly. That's my point too.
He's legit. Like JC is legit. Him and Jalen Ramsey are probably the two best man coverage corners in the NFL right now.
So let's think of it this way when you think about the matchup ways, right? We're saying that the Patriots need to take advantage of their running back advantage because their running back corpus is a lot better than the Bills. And the Bills defense, that's the one weakness of their defense is their rush defense. They're ranked outside the top 10 at that. Yeah. So that's an exploitable. That's a very, very easy thing to exploit for the Patriots in this matchup. Now let's flip to the other side. We're saying that the receiving corps is by far the biggest discrepancy when you compare the two tandems between these two teams.
Diggs, Sanders, Knox.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And you compare it to what the Patriots have with Aguilar and
Kendrick Bourne, Nikhil.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Bills got Isaiah McKenzie too. Like the Bills are, dude. The Bills.
Yeah. Well, the Patriots have a great secondary, like we're saying, and they have a great pass defense. So when it comes to what these two teams need to do offensively, the Patriots have the better answer defensively in this matchup. That's another thing to look at. Yeah, like you said before, the Patriots the fact they don't have a number one corner isn't that big of a deal because we're afraid of Nelson Aguilar running a bunch of 9 routes and double moves and breaking into the covers that way. But again, I got the Patriots winning this matchup. And Belichick, we trust. I'm not even a Pats fan, bro. I'm a Redskins fan, and my boy's a Pats fan. I'm picking the Pats to win this.
Grain right now. I'm going against the grain right now.
Like he's about to get a lot of salty looks when he steps out of his house.
A lot of hate.
Anytime, bro. So, but is there any other final points you want to make about this?
Honestly, I think we covered everything.
One more thing to the Patriots' favor. I'm gonna spit more games to make you think that my pick is right, and it will be right. But the Steelers, Colts, and the Titans, they ran a lot of they played a lot of soft zones against Josh Allen, 3-4 man rushes. And
Yeah.
they were just able to contain Josh Allen, turn him into dink and dunker. And I think the Patriots have the perfect person on their defense to contain Josh Allen's running lanes and Dante Hightower. Dante Hightower has played the spy
He's a
role
good spy.
multiple times in
Yeah.
the past, and he does a great job at that.
I don't
Dante
know,
Hightower is a
man.
very versatile running back.
Yo,
He can fly all over the field. That's
yo.
another
It's
factor.
0 degrees in Buffalo. Dante Hightower's getting a little old. You don't think those knees gonna be like a little tired? 0 degrees in Buffalo? Like, I
That's a
don't
fair point.
I don't know, man. Like I think that the Patriots have a great team this year, and I think they're like one piece away from being a title contender, but it's not this year, man. It's next year. It's not this year. I think that the Bills just have too many, like, they just have too many elite players on both sides of the ball, in my opinion. Like, I don't think they're going to be the Chiefs or the Titans or anything, but I think they're going to beat the Patriots for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's in the little things that are gonna make the big difference in this game. Special teams as well. It's gonna field
Yeah,
position is gonna be a
this
big
game could
deal.
literally come down to like a muff punt. Like, this
Yeah,
game could come down to
and the
something
pass
like
got the
that.
pass got Matthew Slater still. So
Pat's got the best special teams in the league for like the past 20 years, but
mhm.
I don't know, man. If you give me like Diggs, McKenzie, Singletary, Sanders, Moss, Dawson Knox, like, and all I got to do is probably score like 24 points to win the game, like,
I think the pass gonna run the football down their throats, and they're
you
gonna be
think
able to
the Pats
capitalize
gonna
off
put up
that
more
play
than like 20?
action.
I think the Pats gonna put up more than 20. I think the Pats max is like 21, 24. I don't think they're gonna put up more than that.
27 is my max.
What's your final score?
Shit, I got one spot. I'm gonna say 26-23. New England.
So we got the same shit. I was 27-24 Bills. Like, it's like the same thing. It's just a field goal in the other
Exactly. Like
direction.
I said, these teams,
Yeah.
these teams are so evenly matched to the point where it's just like the defense are Bills are one, pass are two in pretty much every category.
Offenses are both like top 10. Like, they're both like around that
Mhm.
area.
I'm just been really impressed with Mac Jones as well too this year in big moments, and I think it's going to carry forward more throughout this game and throughout the rest of the postseason. So
I mean,
that's
shit,
my
we'll see.
pitch. I got
Hey,
Patriots.
we'll
You
see in
got
15
Bills.
minutes. We'll see in
Comment
15
comment what you thought. We got about 30 minutes. What time's kickoff? 8:30?
like 20 minutes.
8:20. Comment what you think in the comments. Who you gonna win? Who you think's gonna win? If you agree with me, if you agree with Kearney. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Let's be great.